Alright, hello, greetings, welcome in everyone. Hello. My name is Harriet Citadel, avian alien sentinel VTuber, perpetrator of creative chaos, and general maker of things, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here this Thursday. How's everybody doing? Hi. I am running on a little bit of adrenaline at the moment, admittedly. And I've just realized that I have barely what looks like 300 milliliters of water. If I know the size of my bottle is 700 available to me at this moment in time, so I'm definitely going to need to take a break soon and very soon to just quickly run and top that up. But I hope that Thursday has been treating everyone kindly. I was able to be quite productive earlier on. And I just need to check something quickly. Mute that thing because it's echoing in my ears and that is really disconcerting and wild and bleh. I do not like monitoring my audio live. It's always makes me trip over my words because I have no idea what I'm actually hearing, and I lose track of my own thoughts because I hear myself twice, and it gets really trippy. I don't know how people do self-audio monitoring without losing track of what they're thinking. Honestly, it's a skill to monitor yourself and not lose track of what you're thinking. I hope that the mic quality is okay for today, because it has occurred to me when I checked my VOD from yesterday that it was a little bit far away from my head, so hopefully I won't headbutt it too many times today, but it also should sound a little bit less hollow and echoey, hopefully. Let me just pull it ever so slightly further down and angle that a little bit more like that. Maybe that'll be a bit better quality, hopefully. And I'll also try to make sure to keep my volume at a relatively decent level, because I realized that was also an issue a little bit. And thank you, coffee! Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so the game plan for this day is we are going to do a little bit of fan art, and we are also going to, as soon as we see Bunby come in, we're going to just check Bunby's in-stream screen animation for any last-minute tweaks before I render it out for delivery for tomorrow. And Keith Manta, good afternoon today. Are you also multi-streaming or are you just YouTube? Your audio sounds fine as well. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I multi-stream by default. Unless something really weird is happening. I will probably stick to a multi-streaming pretty much by default. Yeah. Like, the only time I think I won't do a multi-stream is maybe, like, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Like, in a hypothetical situation where, I don't know, I've got a YouTube premiere on a video that I'm releasing, but I haven't got any of those in the works at the moment, so it's not like that is something on the horizon in any sort of a hurry anyway. But if that were the case, then that's an occasion where it would not be on Twitch at the same time. But if there were an after party for that, that would be on both platforms. But yes, it is a pleasure to have you back, Keith Manta. Welcome. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on chat and see if Bunby drops in, so that we can check the result of the trees in the background and the looping, and if we are happy with everything on that front. But aside from that, on Sunday past, some of you may know, song MV dropped that was really cool by another person. We've heard the song on stream a couple of times already. If you've been on Twitch, you will have heard it a couple of times since. Anti-Venom by Zilginjoka. And I really want to draw something for that song. It's been sitting, living rent-free in the back of my mind the entire week, but until I got to this point in the commission queue, I've not felt like I had the capacity, I don't think I can call it that, the capacity to really apply hours to it. So I kind of want to draw something for that today, and that will just be a little bit of self-indulgence, because I really, really love the colors in that MV. I think the song is kind of cool too. I like the lyric. It says something to me a little bit. And I'm fond of snakes, so the entire theme is also nice. So yeah, there's that little detail. And yeah, we will probably, with all levels of likelihood, hear that song at least twice today, if we are tuning in on Twitch. For those of you who are on YouTube, you should see the little player in the bottom of the chat box, so you can tell when we're listening to it. So if you are following along, you can also feel free to grab the song on your own and listen to it in the background alongside if you are so inclined. But yes, that is the game plan for this day, and I just want to make sure that I've got the right canvas on top. Over here. Alright. And let us head over to right where we're going to start. So at the moment we've got live 2D. What I want to do here real quick is just on this thing. I just want to no. I'm just going to throw Clip Studio over the top. Hide that for a bit. Okay. And we're gonna then start sketching. And I should probably switch on my graphics tablet drivers that have actually got pen sensitivity, because otherwise it won't even have a mouse cursor with it in my hand. Joy. One moment please, one moment please. There we go. That should be better. We should now have a cursor at the very least. Please and thank you. Yes, we've now got a cursor. Lovely! Absolutely lovely. Archmage, hello, hello. Thank you for the hydrate. Welcome in, welcome in. So everyone, acquire your nearest safer consumption beverage and take a sip. I am being a little bit indulgent this Thursday evening. For Christmas, a family member got me a bottle of Japanese whiskey, which finding that in my country is very, very, very tricky. And I am having one of those slowly accompany me this day. But I've also got water with me, and also now my freshly piping hot coffee, which I'm also going to take a sip of. So, fun times. What is everyone else drinking? The whiskey is really tasty, so I don't want to have it go away too quickly. It's a friend that will be accompanying me this day. And I want to get this height. Okay. There we go. But Archmage, how are you doing? How are you doing? Nothing? Ooh, that won't do. That won't do. And there's our automatic hydrate redeem. So, everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverages and take a sip. Remember, chat will say that I'm not the only one who has to hydrate when we've got a hydrate redeem, because I'm not the only one who has to stay healthy. Hydrates before we hydrates, as they say. Nope. Undo. Wrong finger in the wrong position. Now, I am going to be stealing a couple of motifs from the MV itself, considering that this is basically supposed to be a fan art of the MV. So now that I've got one of the major features in place in terms of the idea that I had, yes, apply the transformation. I just want to scale this so that I can get my composition a little bit better. I want this to be a bit smaller. Alright. There we go. That gives us our basics on that one. Let's hope that this works as I hope it is going to. There we go. Okay, that's one section that I've got. Now what I want to do is add a second layer to this. Now, keeping in mind that in terms of proportionality, the space between the underside of the nose and the bottom of the chin should be about as wide as a hand is broad. If we haven't got too much active perspective warping. So about like that should do it scaling wise. Let me bring it back. Okay. So I'm gonna put this here. Now, it has been a really long time since I've drawn anything with this close a crop. Especially not on my usual size canvas. So we'll see how this actually ends up looking when I start rendering it out eventually. Joshua! Hello there, mighty friend! Hello! Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. How goes? I need to not have that underneath my wrist for this line. It goes good, just steadying up on my lead code like a weave. Ah, I see, I see, I see. Well, I can't say that I am familiar enough with the use case of lead code to be able to give you any knowledgeable sounding encouragement, but I hope that you find the solutions you are looking for. I feel like it should actually be a little bit smaller though. Just pull a little bit more perspective in here. There we go. It's essentially just tough questions for programmers. A lot of these algos and questions are used for interviews. Oh, I see. I see. So it's less for actual practical use than just for proving that you know what you're talking about. Interesting. They're solid head scratches and have some value, but most of the time you're not going to touch something anywhere near as complicated. Ah, I see. Now, is LeetCode just what you call that sort of difficult problem, or is it an actual language? It's a website where they hold these questions and trade your solution. Oh, okay. So it's neither. Okay. Interesting. Good to know that those resources exist, though. Eek, no, made a mistake. What I want to do is I want to grab this lasso instead of that one. Okay, now here we're going to take this slot and pivot here. And I'm going to straighten out the middle finger because it's also straight. No, in the MV as well. So all the lead code problems I do are C++. Oh, okay. I see. Good luck with those. I hope they open up the doors for you that you are trying to achieve, or for the things that you're trying to get into. Okay, so I'm happy that I've got my hand posture in place now. I'm happy with that. So now let us build on our expression. Yeah, I hope things go well for you as well. You're always quick on things. I try to be quick. There was a point in time, once upon a time, where I was trying to get into webcomicking, but it took a little bit more than what I had been prepared for at the time. And now I still would like to do a full webcomic one day. It's not in the immediate range of likelihood, probability. Okay, now I want to go into my reference sheet. There we go. There we go. How quick of a release were you wanting to do? I was imagined a 2-week schedule for even 12+ pages with a ton of work. Yeah, it is a ton of work. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I will be honest. My dream for if I had to do a webcomic is to actually have the entire script written for the entire thing, top to tail, completely done. All of the writing is done before I even start drafting character designs. Because then I never have to worry about, okay, should I maybe... What am I actually drawing this week? You know? As a first port of call. But... for a solo artist, a release of... say, I'm not going to try and count in pages because that depends on how you've done your layouts. But let's say if you have 10 panels that you're drawing in a week, so that makes a 40-panel monthly update. As an individual, if you still want to have time to do other things with your life, and the webcomic isn't your entire income, or the comic isn't your entire income, then that is how I would probably do it. If I was adamant that I was going to do it on a live update schedule. Otherwise, what I would want to do is I would actually want to work in it in complete secrecy for several months. And only start publishing it once it's actually completely drawn. Because release schedules are nightmarish. If you have not got the right support network in place, and all of the rest of it, it can be an absolute nightmare. Like, as a solo artist trying to do what a lot of webcomics, or like what a lot of quote-unquote professional webtoons do, where you've got 80 to 140 panels a week. It's nightmarish. That's why people get these massive injuries and go on these huge long hiatuses. It's because the workload is just too ridiculously high, and if you haven't got assistance, you don't stand a snowball's chance in hell of actually surviving your job. It would be so easy to lose momentum when chapters aren't coming out in time. Yeah, exactly. Now, I am not happy with this shape here. Now, the outer eyebrow is actually quite low as well. That's looking a bit better. That's looking a bit better. I'll get back to lurking now. Keep up the good work, ma'am. Thank you! Thank you, and best of luck with your tasks as well. I hope that lurking here assists you with your productivity in one way or another. Rooting for you! Go do the thing. Sai Prime, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? What's up? What's up is we are hoping to see if Bunby is going to join us so that we can just quickly check out the last quality checks on the animation screen that we did for our dear rabbit friend, our dear giant rabbit friend. In the meantime, though, I am doing a little bit of Zeal Genjoka fan art, basically. Just a little bit of self-indulgence following the Anti-Venom music video. Because I have had this idea for an illustration sitting rent-free in my head for an entire week, and that almost never happens. Like, I almost never get an idea straight off the bat for a non-prompted illustration that I really want to do. Like, character designs, sure. Outfit designs, sure. Illustrations, like full-blown illustrations, very, very seldom. So, this is self-indulgence that I do not want to lose the momentum on. Considering that the inspirational bug bit quite thoroughly. There we go. Cool. When you got momentum, you got to capture it, right? Yeah, exactly. I also want to make a comic animation story, but I never flush out the ideas or write them down properly, and I just get overwhelmed of thinking of the different scenarios I can put the characters in. Look, what I can say from my long experience of trying and failing to write a book, because I've been doing that in the background as well for a ridiculously long time, and learning along the way and failing along the way and starting and restarting more times than what you can shake a stick at. Write down all the ideas. It doesn't matter. Don't try and bother putting them in order. Just write down every idea you have to the best of your ability. And once you've got the ideas down, you can start tying them together and seeing, okay, which ones actually work together, which ones actually then start making other ideas not make sense, and then construct out of the scenarios that will give you something that makes your reader heart happy. Is at the end of the day, that's the one thing that you want, is to write something that you would want to read. Write the story that you want, and it'll come out being an awful lot better than if you try and write the story that is posing and posturing towards the tastes of someone else. A book? What kind of book? Basically I'd call it, it's not a high fantasy, but it's like, it's somewhere between a high fantasy and a science fantasy, if I can put it that way. Sort of an action-adventure story. A little bit of a coming-of-age story, a little bit of a finding self-worth story, you know. Those sorts of vibes. This nose is just a little too long. I'm not happy with the shape of this jaw though. It's not reading correctly, I don't think. Let's be a little bit wider. Fantasy sci-fi? Yeah. Or a dystopian type story. It is basically high fantasy on another planet, basically. With some indications of things that we would consider modern comforts in terms of the world build, but with a completely separate history, etc., etc. I've never really had an idea for a story that would work well enough as a book. I grew up watching way more shows and movies than reading books, and my imagination is more visual than anything else. Yeah, like, I would love to do it as a comic eventually one day, once I've got the story written first. But I really like the light novel to comic to animation pipeline. Like, cross media has definitely multiple media stories have definitely got their benefits for reaching wider audiences, and each of them has their own kind of charm. So I'd like to do something that reaches that sort of feeling at some point. But Bundy! Oops, I didn't get a notification you were live, taking the day for yourself. I am going to be doing so, but now that you're here, we can switch over quickly to live 2D. Hold on 1 second, because I did actually have it open. And come over here and switch that on, switch that off, so that we can just do final checks for quality. Yes. Nightingale, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Will there be dragons and other mythical creatures? Oh, absolutely. The majority, in actual fact, the majority of my characters are not human. Like, the majority of the characters are not human. Like, even the person who looks most human is a mix of just about everything, so you know what? Very, very, very much fantasy vibes. In that regard. I need to not have this screen. I want the monitor. Yeah? And you know what? Undo. You know what? Things are just not cropping the way I want them to. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. Live 2D. Undo the crop here. That's on Alt. Okay. And that's a hydrate, so in just a moment, everyone, acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverage and take a sip. What's everyone drinking? And I hope you're having a good Thursday so far. Coffee is now at that medium temperature, so let me just get rid of most of it. Whoopsie. Water as usual. Good, good. Staying healthy. Maybe it's just my knowledge base lacking, but from what I know of, more often anime that start as a light novel tend to be more cerebral than visual action based. I'm getting some iced coffee. Yeah, look. Light novels, a theme with a light novel is that it's supposed to be an easy to read story. But what I can say is that a lot of them, the individual author's style and what kind of thing that they want to convey is going to have a major impact on how it ends up coming across. I like describing my action choreography a little bit. So, yes, it may be a little bit more, you know, it might be a little bit more accurate on some of the twists and wounds and stabby bits. Whoops. But it all depends on what each individual author thinks is most important. So, you know, I can't say that there is a hard and fast rule of, okay, what's supposed to be in a light novel. It's just the idea that it's light, easy reading that is not using complicated words and overly flowery poetry, and it's in bite-sized chunks that you can throw in your laptop bag on your way to work. You know? That's my vibe with light novels in terms of their total definition. Per my understanding. Yeah, okay. So, now that Bumpy is here, let's quickly have a look at this animation. I guess I never really thought too hard about why the differences between a light novel and novel. Yeah, the other difference is also the word count. A light novel is, I believe, between 30 and 50,000 words, while a novel is 50,000 words plus. So a major novel, like one of your thick paperbacks, is usually going to be around about 120 to 150,000 words. Books are such a novel idea. They are. I love that pun. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you went there. Thank you. Joy. Okay. So, I did in fact throw some animation on these trees, and I fixed the loop. I made sure that it is in fact a 2-minute frame, a 2-minute duration. Made sure that there are multiple pulses of breeze through the grass. So, let us see. Hopefully, it's not too jarring anywhere. I try to keep things subtle. Insert Titus laugh here. I wish I knew what that sounded like. At the moment, I don't actually know what that sounds like. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. Yay! Yay! I'm gonna let it roll through the full 2 minutes, just so that you can see how frequently things are moving. But hopefully it works out. But if you like it so far, then I'm happy. Like, I try to keep things as subtle as possible. The only thing that is the drastic movement is the initial pulse of wind against the onion flowers. Simply because it's what's closest to you, it's going to look like what's going to move the most as a gust hits it. It's perfect. Yay! Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. That is a massive, massive relief. I am very, 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 very happy to hear if you are happy. If you are happy, then I'm very, 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 very happy. So in that case, what is going to then happen is I will be rendering this out on my machine tomorrow into a video clip for you, so that I can send it through before this time tomorrow. That is going to be my plan, is to be able to send it through to you before this time tomorrow. Wonderful. Yay! Fantastic. If you're happy, then I'm a very happy camper. I'm a happy burb. I'm a happy burb. Yay! Okay. Fantastic, fantastic. File save again, just for the sake of not having anything weird going on. And also it looks like it looped smoothly. I didn't see any jumps. Okay, awesome. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Lol. Okay, now I'm just going to close this so that I don't have all of my memory taken up. And now we continue drawing Snake Boy. Okay. I'm not actually happy with the angle of this hand. I've just noticed it. I'm not actually happy with the angle of this hand at all. I want the palm angle to be more that than ick. I want it to be pointing inwards, not outwards like it currently is. So let us redo this hand. Message me if you need anything else from me, otherwise I'll be lurking muted. Thank you! No, thank you, Bunby. I will definitely let you know if I need anything else, but if you are happy, then that is me satisfied. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoy your lurks. If you're busy with stuff, I hope that you get productivity and get done with things that you need to get done in. But thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate it. Let me just repair the hands here. So what I'm going to do is, let me just make sure this is in fact the starboard hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch colors on this. Probably. And I'm also not happy with the angle on this middle finger either. Now I just look at it. Because why? I've actually physically posed it out this time. So here, this one is gonna fold inward a bit more. Okay. Clear that. Clear that. There we go. On the topic of night novels, I think I've mentioned before, but most of my ideas tend to be very action-based and superhero-inspired, and I just have the impression that it doesn't really fit solely word-based formats. There's a reason superhero started in comics after all. I can understand that, but on the same hand, what's it? Steelheart exists, by Brandon Sanderson, which is also very much a superhero-esque thing. But it's also Brandon Sanderson, so there's that little detail. Yeah, I think, yes, there is definitely an allure to sticking to a strictly visual storytelling method, if you believe that that's what your subject matter would be best suited for. But I think that a lot more stuff is a lot more versatile than what we necessarily give it credit for. I've heard that name before. I'm guessing he's a big guy. He is a very, very good world-building writer. He does a lot of writing lectures as well. He's currently one of the most popular authors of the day, to my knowledge. He's very good at world-building. Like, really, really good at world-building. So he's also got more books than I can shake a stick at. I do not even know how many books he has written. But he's very good. He's also got a YouTube channel where he discusses writing. And even if you're thinking of writing for different media types, the kinds of things that he discusses are absolutely applicable to everything from comics through to cinema and even, I would say, to stage plays. So, he definitely has some amazing insights if you are honing the craft of storytelling. So, definitely one of the masters who is worth studying under a little bit, considering that he has got a bunch of lectures and resources available on his YouTube channel as well. Okay, that is more right, yes. Now, I just want to check. It's more right, but it's still not quite right. What's his name again? I'd like to look him up on YouTube. Okay, I'll type it in chat. Brandon Anderson. There you go. Definitely someone worth looking up. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just checking. There is a mirror very far to my right, which I'm currently using to pose in to check that I've got something with an arm angle that is going to look right, because let's just say that posing in a mirror is sometimes the best way to grab a reference. JoJo pose activate? Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta JoJo pose in a mirror and see if it gives you what you're after. Right? It's not weird. Like, what? It's like standard practice. It's standard artist practice. Hush. You are your own best reference material. I seen it the first time, guessing you're in the chat relays behind appearing on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, because I typed it in the chat box for my streamer bot. So it sent it to both platforms. It's looking a bit better. Now I just want to get this one. This needs to be shorter. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Size check. Pardon me, that came out of nowhere. Woo! Yui! Okay, I'm going to take everything and make it just a bit smaller because it's just too big in frame. For me to get enough space to feel like I'm getting what I want to achieve with this. Okay. And I'm still not happy with the positioning of this middle finger. And here, what I'm gonna do... I'm gonna grab that color for now, and let's just go lock opacity and fill, just so that I can see what lines belong to. Okay, that should give us a rough idea. Need to remember that I have a whiskey in front of me that needs to be had before it all evaporates. Because that would be sad, considering that this is my Christmas present whiskey. Citrina, hello, hello. Just lurking and vibing today, Harriet. Ah, awesome, awesome. Thank you for the lurk, Citrina. Hope you're doing well. Hope Thursday's been treating you kindly. Stepping away for a bit, we'll be back. No stress, no stress. You need not report your comings and goings. Everything is okay. Okay. And here. Hide out hands at the top there. Okay. So I think we've pretty much got our foundation in place. I'm just still fighting this eyebrow, which is still not the right shape. But we're getting there. We're getting there. You know what half of the problem is? It's half of the problem is that it's ending too high up. That's better. That's more like it. Okay, and I just want to come over here to these references again. So pixelated well. So very, very pixelated well. You know what? That is actually slightly terrifying. Just get our basic rough shape in. That goes that way. We've got a big one that goes like that. 1, 2, 3, and then on the side profile, okay, that'll do the trick, that'll do the trick. And are we in fact pointing the correct direction now? I think so. Let me just go back to our reference sheet. I just want to make doubly certain. Okay, it's nothing in that other ear. Okay. Okay, so that is in fact the empty ear. What does the hairline look like again? Is it straight or is there... It's mostly straight, but okay. Okay, so now we've got foundations in place. Now what we can do is we can start deciding on what method I'm going to use to actually build this thing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is come over here. Okay, and on this what we're going to do is we're going to grab off of the reference sheet, we are going to grab over here skin color 1, and then here really this is actually 6 colors in the eyes. Wow, okay. Eye colors, wow. Hectic, okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. Now what I want to do is I want to come over here again and I just want to doubly check. Port hand has a ring on the pinky finger. There we go. And starboard hand has pinky and ring. Okay. And that is a hydrate. So everyone, acquire your nearest safer consumption beverage. And let us take a sip. The coffee is almost gone. The coffee is almost gone. The ice cold coffee. Why? Because it is now basically winter behaving like winter in my part of the world now. Up until, what, yesterday? The day before yesterday? winter was not yet behaving like winter yet. Now winter is here in full force. And it is bitter. Hmm. Well, silver lining, good for your PC, right? No overheating. Yeah, I've still got to run the aircon though. Because even with winter being here, the machine still throws a hissy fit, so I'm trying. I understand, and it's fine. It's fine. Good intentions noted. I want to just double check something here. Now, this is trippy, and the hands look too small to me, but at the same time they are absolutely not too small proportionally. It's kind of wild. Is this a Zeal Genjoka drawing? I know you said you were drawing something based off a song you were listening to, but I don't remember what you said word for word. It is exactly that. So, Zeal on Sunday past released their music video for Anti-Venom, which is basically the 1 month anniversary for his EP Zealous. And it was a really cool music video. I really, really, really liked it. Yeah, I've been wanting to draw something based off of that for the entire week. It's been living rent-free in my brain. Grahazek, hello, hello, welcome in. Nothing wrong with a little stylization? No, I agree, I agree. Yeah, so that's what we're busy with. Now I just need to get this back to where it was. I think it was there. Yes, that's where it was. Okay, so now we've got a foundation in terms of our sketch. So let me put that in a group. Call this one sketch. Collapse the group. Now what I want to do is I want to decide on what method I'm going to use for this thing in totality. What method do I want to do? The one that's living rent-free for me is Medusa's Masquerade. Yeah, Medusa's Masquerade is absolutely great. For me, my top 3 are definitely Anti-Venom, Medusa's Masquerade, and Molotov Mocktail. Those 3 are my top 3 on that EP. It's only got 5 songs in it, but yeah. It's really, really good. I've been enjoying those. How am I going to do this? Which methodology? Do I want to do the inking methodology, or do I want to try the non-inking methodology? I want to try something. I might regret this later. might regret this later, though, if I do it that way. So you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to call this one Face Inks. Reminds me of Street Fighter 4. Game design and art design go hand in hand, so in fighting games, especially Street Fighter 4, hands and feet tend to be proportionally large to make the extremities and thus the attacks easily recognizable at a glance. That is very, very true. That is a very good point. Use case, use case, use case. Design has to complement the use case every time. If the design does not fit the use case, someone is going to suffer. And that's how sometimes, like, theater costumes can look a little bit underdone, or some costumes are just too advanced to put into an animation of a certain description. So, you know what? Use cases worth so much when it is applied appropriately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to clean up our inks piece by piece. I've decided on a methodology and I hope that it works. Multiply. I'm going to reduce that down again. Oh yeah, how theatre costumes and theatre acting has to be exaggerated to be seen clearly from afar. Yes, exactly, exactly. And interestingly, the same sort of expression exaggeration that is so critical for theatre is immensely useful for VTubing. Funny how that works out, huh? For our puppeteering. So what we're actually saying is that all VTubers ought to be theatre kids. It would help most likely. That would absolutely help because with our optical tracking solutions, the more clear your expressions are and the more obviously you enunciate your words, the better your tracking is going to actually operate. I almost got into theatre as a kid. My sister talked me out of it. No! But you know what? Actually, fair. Theatre is a little bit of its own beast. And it is not for everyone. But it's definitely fun. I was personally not actually a theatre kid. I was a choir kid though, and that's not too different. They're not too different. Less dancing involved. Much less dancing involved. She was in theatre herself. You see, if someone has a bad experience with it, of course they're always going to try and dissuade people from getting other people to do it. But maybe she saw something in your temperament that was maybe not going to be compatible. Who knows? Who knows? I am guessing, and that is maybe not necessarily the best thing. She had a lot of fun with it? Oh, okay. Or she didn't want to share with her brother at the time. Ah, yeah. That's sad when that's a sibling dynamic. That's sad. Almost got it, almost got it, almost got it. So far, so good. So far, so good. I'll come back to the nose. Let me just do the ear first. So much that needs to be cleaned. There we go. Get rid of that. He has got a little bit more of an earlobe, doesn't he? He's got a little bit of a square earlobe. Okay. There we go. Okay, almost got our skin inks done then. Okay. We're making good progress, considering we've only been drawing for an hour. And half of it was doing battle with hands and scaling. If we're lucky, I'll be able to finish this today. Because that would be really cool. Okay. So that is going to be, I'm going to call that one, instead of face inks, skin inks. Okay. Now what I want to do is, step next, I want to experiment a little with something. Let me see. How am I going to do this? I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if this is going to vibe with me today. I'm not going to bet on it, but let's give it a try. Doesn't hurt to try at least once, right? This is going to vibe with me today. Here, one. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this behind. And go in and grab skin color like that. Just rough in a patch. Now I'm going to need to be careful. So I've got a plan, which is going to hopefully look interesting. Now, what I'm gonna do is come back here, and I'm just gonna pick a lighter color. Hold up. Lock, fill. I just want to actually be able to see what I'm doing. Hide those. Unlock. Okay, then on the back end here. Something like that. Let's see. All right. Let's see what happens if I do it like this. Okay, now if I go duplicate that and I empty it and I grab that color again, now put that on top, pull it here too. I'm actually going to call this one 3 because I want one layer underneath this for sure. I definitely want a layer underneath this. Actually, this is going to be 4 because I want 2 layers beneath this. In order to get what I want to achieve with my layering before I start rendering out anything. Eep. Okay. Let's see. Now we can see that there's some stuff that needs to be repaired over here, so that gets cut out. Okay. That gets cut off. Okay, now we duplicate and clear 2, duplicate 3. Okay, so hide those. Here 2 is going to include the hairline. And just a little bit more layering up here. Okay. Now on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to do and that's a hydrate. So everyone acquire your nearest safe for consumption beverage and take a sip. Okay, that did not work. Pull that entire section. Now if I layer those together, We're starting to get something that's looking marginally correct. Starting to get there. Okay, now the hairline needs cleaning. Oh, hello. What do you know? It's the song of the day. That we're drawing for. Woo! Duplicate. Clear it. We're getting there. I'm liking how this is mostly working so far. This methodology is working so far better than I was anticipating. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now I can come over here and grab this again. Oh, hello. The other song that's been living rent-free in my brain for the last week and a bit. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there! What I want to do is, I think, clip. Ooh, this will work. This will work. I like this. Okay, that will work. I can work with that. Put down. Like that one. I can roll with this. This is looking decent. I'm liking this methodology so far. It's working in my favor for a change. An experiment is going well. Yay! I was half not expecting it to go well. So I'm taking this win. Thank you. Okay. It's just struck me that twice in a row now, Zeal has been my test dummy for experimenting with new methodologies. Last time I did that, I was testing out new brushes. Ironically, these brushes that I'm currently using. Ah, interesting how that works out. Oh. Unexpected. That's not it. Hide that one for a second so that I don't make mistakes that are stupid. That'll do. So far, so good. Okay. Happiness, happiness, happiness. Okay, that works, that works. Hide those. Let's show number 2. Clip. This is number 4. Yes. I just want to undo. Hide that. Take that off. There we go. Okay, this is going pretty well so far. This is working. This is working, this is working, this is working, yay! Show here. I'm gonna need to be careful. Okay, now here what I want to do is I want another one. And a multiplier on this. Normal. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to duplicate this one again. Clear it. And grab that color again. Hide all of those. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to throw on our sketch again, hide the hands. Okay, this is just going to be a case of clever layering. Oi. What are you doing? Ah! It's only getting worse. Why? That was messy and horrible. And hide that, grab the skin color again there, just put some more back here. Alright, lock that. Grab our green again. And fill. And grab you. issue there. Got the wrong brush. I want this one. There we go. That's the brush I was looking for. So far so good. Okay. Throw those back on. We are getting there. We're starting to actually look like a character now. Yay. Save button. And this is actually a save as. Whoopsie. Okay, so this is gonna go in here. Let me just file this appropriately. New folder. Give it a date, 2025, 05, 22, Zilginjaka, T, and copy text, paste, there we go, that'll do the trick. Okay. So, basics are now in place. Basics are now in place. At least for this section. So let me take all of that and throw that in a group so that I can collapse it and see all of my layers further stop. Okay, let's do let's call this one face. Next one, I'm going to go port hand. Inks. And this is going to be 30 brush size. There we go. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ring inks on another layer. So that if I do decide to do a paint over with that, which is increasingly likely going to be what my plan is going to be as I get to that stage of the rendering. Because I don't think these lines are going to stay black. I highly doubt it. Oh, hello. He's got gloves. He's got gloves. That means I'm not going to... If I do him with his coat on, he's got gloves on, which means I don't need to do fingernails, which is a huge help. I'm going to do the gloves version. It's going to make the paint over more comfy as well. I can roll with that. That sounds like a plan to me. Any opportunity I can take where I don't need to draw fingernails, I will take, because fingernails are a pain. Now I need to check what seams are going to make sense for this. What seam pattern is going to make sense for these? This is going to split in two here. No? Single seam throughout. This is going to be a single seam. And that is a hydrate saver. Acquire your nearest safer consumption beverage. And let us take a sip. I am now officially on water. Which is why the coffee is gone. How are you all holding out? Hope we're doing okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is grab outside and expand by 1, expand by 2. Okay. Invert selected area. Grab that color. Fill. Okay. And just select what is going to be skin. Cut, paste, lock, Grab our skin color. Fill. There we go. So, first hand is in place. Save button. There we go. Duplicate. Put this one on starboard hand. Clear everything on the inside. Hide port, hide the face. Here. Okay. Sorry, I'm accidentally hitting the microphone with my head again. Sorry. So far, so good. We're making good progress now. Right. Alright, the sketch, okay. this one, grab that color. If I can just not make stupid mistakes. Clear. Grab outside. Expand by 1. Expand by 1. Invert. Fill. Grab. Grab. Okay, cut, paste, lock, show, grab, pull. Okay. So now we've got that in place, which is half of the most complicated part of the thing in place. Now what I just want to do I just need to, in another tab, open up the actual music video, because I want to just reference something. Okay, so screenshot. I want to grab that. Create new from clipboard. There we go. Okay. Print screen. And reduce. And paste. Undo. Create new from clipboard. I just want to have both of those versions open. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to hide here, and I want to select that space, expand by 1, expand by 2, and I want to create a mask here, which I'm going to call, now before I do that, though, I'm just gonna grab a very loud color so that I can see. Lock. Full there. I want to make a mask. Call this one window mask. There we go. and I want to take our face layer and I want to duplicate it at that point, put it on top of there and clip it down. So now we should have something like that. Correct? In there, I'm going to fill that in black. And grab that. And I'm actually going to grab all of those and make sure that they're opacity locked. Those two don't need to exist here. There. That one doesn't need to exist. No, it does. It does need to exist. But it can stay as is. That one doesn't need to exist. Okay. And now we go through the rest. Alright, and now grab this and systematically make sure that lines for all of our hair layers are that color. There we go. There we are, which gives us an interesting effect over here. Do you see where I'm going with this? Now, if I show that again. Hide those. I'm going to create a eyes layer. And we're gonna do our lashes. Actually, no. Come over here. I've got an auto action for this. Eye layers, play. Yeah, okay. Move that out. Move that out. Okay. Now, we come in here. And we start inking our eyes. Okay, almost there. Almost got it. Almost got this one. In terms of the lash shape. My outer lash. Okay, lock all of those. Lash upper. Here we go. No. Rotate. Something like that. Good. And grab there. Cool. Now lower. We're going to grab this color again. Like that. Lash outer. Like that. Okay. Now Slera. Let's just show that so that I can see. Hide the sketch layer for a second. Blur the inner corner here, but I can't find it. Now here I'm seeing something that's bugging me to wit's end. Debris! Get rid of it. Go on with you. Debris. Right. So now I can lock that. And I can grab this color. Here we go. And grab this again. Put this on top here. Grab this. Actually. Like that. And that. Filter, bleu, Gaussian. Too much of that on the edge, so let's just hide that off a little bit more. Filter, bleu, Gaussian. A little bit less. And that looks good, okay. Now, make this a multiply. And put it on 50%. And hide it for a second. While we come in here and quickly do our iris information. Okay, so. Firstly and foremostly, I get the distinct feeling that I can start with a black core.